Wonderful. Well, thank you for coming. And here we are. I don't know how we move along. We press and click. Oh, fantastic. So I will tell you a little bit about Collabora, just briefly. So it's kind of a cheat. Collabora is really the parent company, and it does wonderful things from the ground up. So getting Linux and open source into all sorts of hardware and devices and driving it like the roots of everything that's done digitally. And they're a real consultancy. And Collabora Productivity is a subsidiary, my piece. And that was spun out of SUSE, I guess. We took 7 people then. We're around 50 now. And we're focused on office productivity, digital sovereignty, all that good stuff. And, ooh, look at how exciting we are. We are also into process. So now we can do ISO 9001 and 27,000. Isn't that good, you know? As a boss, I can encourage my staff to improve continually and that sort of thing. It's all good. And customers complain. But one of the things that's perhaps unique, well, certainly interesting about Collabora Productivity is that we have a mission that we believe in. And we sort of wrote it down first, well, it kind of condensed out of our ethos, which is to make open source rock. What we want to do is to make open source succeed and become the dominant form of software everywhere. And that's the goal of our shareholders. So as long as we're spending our money, or your money to be more precise, if you're a customer, because we don't have money of our own. People give us it on trust that we do good things with it. Then we reinvest that into FOSS software and growing our partners and business ecosystem. So all of our code is open. Another sort of interesting thing is that we're an organic business. Being an organic business means you don't use pesticides and you grow things in your own garden and so on. But also it means that there's no real cheat code here. There's no magic money tree. There's no VC pouring money in that you can shovel out of the door. And so if you have a problem, there's not as much money coming in as is going out, you find this very quickly, which is exciting. And you can fix it. And you can grow and improve your company. And it's a great way to be really responsive and to make something that works really nicely. So this is quite a dull slide, but it has a whole load of our products on it. But the thing that most excites me is that whilst we love to do bespoke consultancy for people, and we're constantly, people come to us and go, I got a real problem with, a layout problem in Writer. Can you do this for us really, really quickly? And we need to, it's a big piece. Then we can do that. That's great. If it lines with our roadmap and things, it's even better. But broadly, we really like to get subscription revenue so that we can look at the strategic problems that we can understand and we can see and we can invest in, because there are plenty of strategic things we need to be doing. And so we're really looking for subscription revenue. That's the way businesses succeed in open source, if you look at the Red Hats of the world and so on. And I have a talk about this, perhaps later today, so come to that. But we've managed to squeeze our consultancy down to something like 25% of our business. So 75% is what we hope is renewable, sustainable, growing revenue, and that number's growing over time, which is cool. But, not that it's great also to get money to do cool feature work. Specific feature work for customers. So, Collabora Online is the tip of our spear. That's where we're investing very, very heavily. And that's built, of course, on the beautiful LibreOffice technology, which is why we're so thrilled to be here and sponsoring. So all of those great attributes of LibreOffice brought to your web browser, something like 105 million Docker image downloads of a server product and growing, which is great. One of the features you'll see on this slide is that, my presentation is really just, hot off the press. It's even being written, as you see, and this bullet is missing at the bottom. Anyway, so I just wanted to give an idea of how our support product works. So our customers, they get support from us, and we have, something like 800 support tickets a year, and then we close around 800 as well. Turns out there's about 30 open all the time as we try and ask customers what they really mean by, this or that or the other, clarifying those things. But it's really, really nice to have a very low ticket count. And of course, lots of those are sort of set up and installation support. Help me understand how to do this. So what have we been doing in this last year? Well, interoperability is really, really important to us and our customers, obviously. And so here's a thing. This is multi-page floating tables we talked about, I think, before. And it sounds like quite a dull thing, right? Like it's not, how can that be that useful? Microsoft, unfortunately, float tables very regularly now. When you touch the screen, the table is floated. And previously, we had real problems rendering them. But this is an example of what goes wrong when say, you're missing a continuous endnote feature, which we've also implemented in the last year, getting much better support. And you can see, red is what it should look like, and black is what it actually looks like. And so before to after, you have a really massive improvement. And of course, if you stack 3 or 4 of these things together, you can end up with something like this. So this is a very typical government form, where people are using, pages, tables, all sorts of nasty elements. And, from before to after, you can see the impact of some of this great layout work that I think Miklos has been doing, and I will happily talk to you about, to make your sort of badly designed, non-optimal, Microsoft-sourced government documents work beautifully. And we'd really like to thank the BMI, I guess, who are funding Zendis for investing a very significant sum of effort in doing that. So that's a great investment from the German government. And then lots of other things. You discover weird problems when you're copy and pasting and things need to be faster, and I don't know, whatever, pivot table formatting. Turns out there are amazing ways of formatting cells that we now support beautifully. Being able to just do nice simple things, exporting sheet ranges. But one of my deep joys about an online product is this, that I have a passion for performance and optimization. That's my secret weakness. And so, what we really want to do is to make everything quicker and better and slicker and nicer and, so on. So, but we have this demo server that runs, and it runs Collabora Online. And of course, underneath that was a whole load of LibreOffice goodness there. And so this is an example of a week of profiling, and we just profile like once a second, something like that for a whole week, and see hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of users what they do. And it turned out, just as an example, that detecting is it a hybrid PDF file with Boost Spirit, which is a hyper-complicated template library, was consuming some unfeasible amount of like 17% of the week was just detecting whether files were actually hybrid PDFs. So I think Colon fixed this with some little fix, and bingo. But there's no shortage of these, and if you're interested, you can follow the GitHub tickets with the daily profiles or weekly profiles. So lots of performance tuning, and it's just great to see grey to purple, getting better and better, and loads of different areas, far more than I can possibly tell you in one sitting, and lots more. So all of those things there have gone into the core of LibreOffice, and so that's great. I mean, you see that in some of the commit graphs there in terms of the volume of commits going into 24.8, which is great. So good to be able to contribute. On top of that, of course, we build Collabora Online, and so again, there are loads of improvements there, more in the webby front end. So one of the things you'll discover is if you're in a meeting, the meeting might go on for a very long time, and it might not be entirely relevant to you at all times. And so you might do some other research, with your eyes shut, and then suddenly your name is called, and you're expected to, provide an opinion. And so you rewind the back buffer in your brain that has the last, 20 words in it, and you replay them. But wouldn't it be nice if you were actually looking at where the editor was editing, and you can actually read the document as well, and then contribute meaningfully, speed up, improve your business interaction. So this follow me thing we've improved, and it looks quite pretty. Another thing we've done is sort of automatic document work, so random pretty picture. But we have a whole load of fields and things, and forms are really, really important. And various fields that we put in them for lots and lots of data processing tasks. And we now have a nice new API that will then suck those out of the document. So you can grab a random document, and you can suck all of the data out, and it will tell you the fields, their names, their content, and what they are. And now also file properties and bits about charts and all sorts of other stuff. And then, when you create a document from a template that has one of these things in it, you can then show people a form and say, hey, these are the fields that you really ought to be filling out, before letting them go on to edit it. Of course, you can write a program to do this as well, and you can even add the charts to that, which makes it really nice. So much more of a graphical prettiness. Do something else. So that's pretty good. And then we have problems with people misconfiguring the software. So we've made it even easier to see when you've gone wrong if you're an admin, which is always good. I mean, it's not too great to point to people's flaws, is it? But anyway, there we are. And then presentation. So we've done lots on Impress. So presenting in Windows is really good for giant screens. Search in Help, so you can find your weird key binding. Better track changes, so tooltips, we're bringing those from the core, so when you hover over your changes, you can see them much more easily, who did what, and so on. Better alignment, so Impress, you get snapping grid pretties to make your slides look good, and distribution. We have 3D transitions, which is kind of cool. So we've completely rewritten our transition slideshow engine to use WebGL in the client side. So if you have a modernish browser, and Quickie here has been leading the team, actually. So you can ask him all about it. And it all looks very slick and beautiful. And it's important because if you look at the competition, if you look at Microsoft Office 365 in the browser, you'll discover they abandoned a few features. It's not a WYSIWYG editor. You can't see how your document will look, for example. You can't insert a chart into a Word document online. And it seems like this hasn't been fixed in 10 years. So it does seem like that's a stopgap thing. And we're, in contrast, really trying to provide all of the power of that LibreOffice technology, provide a full feature Office suite that people can love. And, people love their 3D slides, so why not? And interaction objects. So you can then do sort of powerful, clever scripty things with that, lots of performance tuning of lots of users using it. And so, there you go. But with LibreOffice technology, awesome stuff. Some people are not willing to do anything until someone else has done it first. Fair enough. Why not? Be risk averse. Good news is, lots of people have done it first. So you're not even anywhere near the beginning of the queue. All of the cool kids made it there first. So, and we even write about them. We have case studies about various different deployments of various sizes. These are not the giant numbers hosting kinds of millions of users, but they're in government. This one I like for universities and schools. So it becomes increasingly difficult to detect AI-generated text. And that's a problem for all liberal arts professors. And the AI detectors tend to detect even like the US Constitution as being AI-generated. It's just, you can't refuse someone a degree based on a random number produced by some scammer. So one of the things we can do is we can autosave. And now actually you can do that in the background. So we can save huge files while you carry on editing. So Antecedent have a little now open source product that will autosave every second and then see how you change the document, what moved, were things copied, how the editing session looks over a long period. Is this a genuine attempt to edit a document? Of course, all my documents would look like the last 5 minutes. It was all being hammered in, right? But mostly, if you're writing a novel or something, you edit and you read and you shrink it and trying to get it into the word limit. And so anyway, you can see if there's some great chunk of stuff pasted in, you're going to see that in the graph. So very, very useful and very hard to defeat as yet. So cool. I have a couple of little reflections on TDF. So one of the things that I just wanted to make entirely clear, so there's no ambiguity at all, although I realize now is probably not a clear thing. But we really support and encourage TDF to ship LibreOffice for desktop as a free, as in beer download for everybody. I think that's really important. I think it's what TDF people perceive LibreOffice as that. And against that, I actually support charging for the convenience in app stores because this funds really good work at TDF. There are staff members employed by that doing excellent things. And talk to them here. So that's great. And I think this is fundamentally not an issue. And if people are telling you that's an issue, be scared because they're making it up. Second thing is I've been researching peacemaking and reconciliation. And so one of the things is that this chap is the Bishop of Baghdad, the Foundation for Reconciliation and Peace in the Middle East. Obviously, as you can see, there's still some problems. So maybe not the best, maybe not the best place to get advice. But either way, here's what he has to say. He says, getting the parties to sit down and listen to each other and hear each other's story is the most important, foundational, fundamental thing in getting people to work together. And that's really because listening to both sides of a story makes you wiser and understand them. So please, while you're at the conference, go talk to people who think differently from you. If you find yourself in a group and everybody agrees with each other, find another group, and then listen to what they have to say, and maybe you'll learn something really useful. So I think the last piece of that then is exploring options and breaking down false dichotomies. And very, 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 very often in life, we're presented with it's either this or that. And actually, there's probably a lot of other things it could be that are somewhere in between here and there. So please do so take some of that if you can. And then I just have some little statistics slides. We have awesome community contributors. They are these, and they rock. So thank you for everyone there. And we have a whole load of code committers at Collabora, and there's 40 of them in the last year, something like that. And we have a whole load of business support people doing things that don't show up in slide decks, chasing purchase orders that are overdue and invoices that aren't paid and whatever. And it's an absolute privilege to work with some of these amazing people doing things behind the scenes that you may never meet. So thank you to our partners and our customers who pay for everything. Thank you for the community who do awesome stuff. Here are some of the clients and partners we have. We're privileged to work with. And we really love to go to market with partners. We want to be amazingly successful as a business so we can drive software freedom, but we want to partner with other people to make them a piece of that and to share in that across different countries. So 230 partners. And come to our team building. Cool days. Look at here, here, everyone you knew trying to drive a car and look at stuff. And we hope to be in Budapest, Hungary, in, I think, June, so next year. So why not join us? Oh, and why not join us to work for us? So we still have several open recs. We continue to grow. If you know someone, that would be good. We love referrals, but we really appreciate the quality of the team we have. Thank you so much for being here. We're here to make LibreOffice rock. It's our pleasure to sponsor the conference. Thank you very much.